So for me, when I think of guitarists, one of the first ones that always comes to mind is Kirk Hammett of Metallica. He is quite possibly my favorite of all time. I have a few that I kind of rotate between, but Kirk Hammett is obviously an absolute legend, and today is his birthday, so I thought it'd be fun to count down my top 5 favorite Kirk Hammett solos. Now, keep in mind, these are my favorite. A lot of these will be your favorites. They're some of the biggest of all time, and I love all of his stuff. I love every single Kirk Hammett solo I've heard. Even if he fails live, it's still funny, but that rarely ever happens. These are my favorite. These are my personal picks. I do have some honorable mentions first. To be completely honest, I could include basically every single one from the first 5 albums or whatever, especially all the ones from the Black album. I love all those first few albums, but my honorable mentions in no particular order are The Unforgiven, Blackened, Battery, Seek and Destroy, and of course, Enter Sandman, okay? I know a lot of people complain that solo is by far the best part about that song. Those are my honorable mentions. They are all great solos. It was really hard for me to make this list, but I thought it'd be fun. But coming in at number 5, now this one I almost didn't put on the list because there are a ton of solos in this song, but I was like, I'll put it at number 5 because they're all really special to me. Of course, that is Fade to Black. Now, whether you're talking about the intro solo, the outro, anything like that, this song is top 5 Metallica, obviously, but the solos are out of this world. I'm still trying to learn that intro solo. I, for some reason, can't get it, but that outro solo is just equally as great. There's so much emotion behind it when he hits those bends on those really high notes on a, very high up on the guitar, you could say. I was going to say low, but very high up on the guitar. There's just so much emotion to it. I always have a physical reaction to the song, and that's why I had to put it on the list. Coming in number 4 is another one from the same album, Ride the Lightning, and the song is Ride the Lightning. Now, this is one of them that just absolutely blew me away. The first time I heard it, I was like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. I had this in the top 3, but I mean, these are all some of the best solos of all time. This one is out of this world. I mean, the opening guitar riff to this song, is just awesome. You know how it goes, obviously. But for me, it is the solo that really just puts this one of the best of the album, one of the best of Metallica's career. I think that this is an easy highlight, and yes, they didn't get to play this song for a while, and I bet a lot of you have seen this very funny video of Kirk talking about it.
Where's Ride the Lightning? Where's Ride the Lightning?
It's not on.
Why is it on the list?
It's not voted for.
Why?
Because these people have said...
Who didn't vote for Ride the Lightning? Tell me right now.
All those people out there.
I want you to go out there and ask them fucking why. One day I want to fucking play it. Fucking Ride the Lightning. Fucking Unforgiven 2. Fucking Saint Anger. Fucking
But they've been playing a lot more recently, and I really hope one day very soon I get to see them play this live. Coming in at number 3 is my favorite tapping solo of all time. I've tried to play this one a few times. I can get the first few notes, I'm going to be completely honest. It is the most iconic tapping lick, I think, besides Eruption by Van Halen. Of course, that is One. Now, One is probably my favorite Metallica song. I know it's a little bit basic, but it's definitely in the top 3, and this solo, every single time I hear it, I love it. I'm absolutely in love with this one. This has always been one of my favorite songs of all time ever since I heard it for the first time, and I think the solo is perfectly placed in there. You got the kind of the slower intro, you got that intro solo, but I'm talking, of course, about the tapping lick. It's just, it's just so much fun, but it's so exciting at the same time. It has that thrill to it, but also I'm like, hell yeah, this is just cool. Now, I assume you guys know what the top 2 will be, but it depends which one will be placed above the other. Coming in at number 2 for me is Master of Puppets. Now, this one is probably the most iconic one besides Enter Sandman, and this is, again, just like Ride the Lightning or One, I guess, with all these solos. When I first heard it, I was blown away. Obviously, I'm talking about solo number 2 of this song, you could say, because the first one is James and Kirk together, but the Kirk solo is mind-blowing. It is one of the best pieces of thrash metal I think ever written. It perfectly fits the song. This is one of the most iconic songs of all time. Somehow I hadn't heard it until this year, so I did react to that, and I've done a ton of videos on Metallica already, so if you haven't checked those out, I will link them down below, because Metallica is one of the greatest bands of all time. You guys already know that, but this solo is just awesome. The energy of this one is really what gets me, and then you get a little bit of the whammy bar in there. You just get everything you need for a perfect solo. This, for me, is easily top 10 solos of all time. But coming in at number 1, my favorite Metallica solo ever since, I think, probably the first time I heard this one, or at least one of the first times, this has been my favorite solo, of course. That is Creeping Death. This and One I always consider my favorite Metallica song. I always say my favorite Metallica song is One, but my favorite thrash metal Metallica song is Creeping Death, and this song is just perfect. I mean, the story it tells is great, the opening is amazing, the bridge, it has like one of the greatest breakdowns in all of music, and the solo is just unbelievable. A lot of people do consider this the hardest one to play, and I can see why. I don't think I'll attempt this one for years and years, but I just love everything about this song. But it is the solo that makes it the perfect, and in my opinion, the best thrash metal song of all time. I know this song is very personal to Kirk. I know he wrote the bridge riff, you know, the die part when he was like 16 or 17, and I assume he wrote the solo later on, but this has always been my favorite Metallica solo. There are so many. I could name basically every single thing from those first 5 albums. I think they're all great, but Creeping Death is my favorite one. Once again, happy birthday, Kirk. He's one of my favorite people ever, one of my biggest inspirations. Tell me your top 5, top 10, or whatever favorite Metallica solos, especially by Kirk Hammett, in the comments down below, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.